not come in any doors or not in the...
This is a public office.
No. Okay. Call the cops.
Go right ahead.
I ask you.
Go right ahead. I don't need your directives.
You kindly.
I'm telling you kindly, this is a public office. If there's a law that's been broken,
they have the right to refuse service. Remember what we talked about last time.
Not to a law-abiding citizen. You guys were wrong last time. Why would I need a state employee badge?
I don't know who you are, and I'm not gonna.
Do you ask everybody?
If you need to go back.
But do you ask everybody these questions when they come up to your window, or is it because I'm recording?
Well, you have a camera.
Yeah. Sometimes I watch your YouTube channel.
Well, hopefully you guys see it as good training content.
We're always watching it.
I have a First Amendment auditor.
Is it a white male with like blondish, gingerish hair?
Yep.
Yes, I know who he is.
You guys are law enforcement. You're definitely not feelings enforcement. You're not even policy enforcement.
You're probably gonna wind up pulling somebody off of him.
Yep, but that would make him the victim.
And they, like I said, they have that right.
Yeah, but where's their right infringe on his rights?
I'm kind of.
Welcome back, Liberty Trollers. If you haven't already seen the original video from my perspective on my camera from this incident you are about to watch from the police body cam perspective, I suggest you watch that one first, just so you can get a little bit more context on what I was doing and not doing. The original video link will be provided to you in the video description of this one. In this video, you'll witness a police officer educate a misinformed security guard. The officer mostly does a good job, not perfect, but better than what I'm used to seeing. Let me know what you think in the comments after watching this video.
I have a First Amendment auditor. He refuses to stay in the common areas.
He or she?
Access is a he.
Okay, I probably already know who he is.
One of our clinics.
Are you guys want to trespass?
Yes.
Is it a white male with like blondish, gingerish hair?
Yep.
Yes, I know who he is. He goes here all the time.
He's
over here
in our TV clinic. He should not be in the clinical area.
Okay. Do you guys want him trespassed?
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to prosecute if he?
Yes.
Okay. So where is that? And what's this specifically?
This is tuberculosis clinic. There are patients in there.
Is it? Do you need access to it, or can you just easily walk in?
You can easily walk in, but the reason why they need a door open is because it's a negative pressure area, and they have to let the patients be able to walk in, but their clinical area is in there. That's their clinic. There's patients in there and their information.
So is there privy information, or is that like patient care right there?
Yes.
Okay. And so I can just open the handle and then...
You can push down on the handle and go inside.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Let's figure out what's going on and we'll go from there, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't have any problems here today, really. It was just the security guard. I remember what I was going to say. So I've been in these situations before where police officers respond like they're supposed to, investigate, and when they find there's no law that's been broken, then at that point there's nothing for them to do because you guys are law enforcement. You're definitely not feelings enforcement. You're not even policy enforcement. You know what I mean? As far as a public building's concerned. So I've been in situations before where they recognize that, they educate the employees, and then they just leave me there, usually about 5 minutes after they leave, I leave. That's how it should be done. But unfortunately, what we have here in Orlando, about 50-50% of the time.
Yeah, it kind of depends, yeah. I mean, so the one time at the clinic, you were trespassed based on the allegations of disturbance.
Yeah.
And then at the ATF, we left. And then I saw you later on the street for the other thing. So, but just like you said, it is 50-50. It kind of depends on what's going on, what the allegations are made.
It depends on the officer.
It does. It does.
Because you know me, I do the same thing every single time. It's like clockwork. You know, I don't create a disturbance. I don't raise my voice. I don't cuss. I don't go into any areas I'm not supposed to go in.
Correct.
So it's always allegations, but 50% of the time, police officers do a thorough job and see, like, okay, there's no laws for us to enforce. He's not breaking the law. If anything changes, let us know. Then they leave. Other times, we're just like, oh, they want you out. You got to go.
just like that, and that's not the way it should be at all.
The only thing I could say, I mean, just obviously I can't speak on behalf of other agencies. I mean, you can always try to contact our legal department to revise the policies and stuff, and that we have. I mean, all our policies are in place and they're public records. You just Google the City of Orlando, our policies, and they're up there for you to go pull and look. I'm sure you could probably do a records request and see what our policies are, how we abide by our policies, and what the statutes and how they are together. Or sometimes they're not accurate. Sometimes, and I found in looking through our policies, sometimes our policies, because they obviously write them, don't match exactly what state statute says, right? So maybe that's something that if it's a concern with the whole trespass stuff or anything else, that's something that you can come and do the records request and talk to our legal department. Obviously, laws change constantly, right?
You're absolutely correct. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to get something called standing and just challenge it in court. If there's any kind of policy that's been put into effect or exercised on a law-abiding citizen, then there's something called standing, then you can just take it to court and then...
Well, I mean, obviously with the...
A couple different ways you can do it.
We want to hinder the whole thing of going to jail. We don't like arresting people, man.
Yeah, and if there's an opportunity for me to leave, I always, under threat of arrest, I'll leave. That's why I'm always like, okay, is that where we're at? Am I gonna, will I be arrested if I don't leave? And if they say, yes, you'll be arrested if you don't leave right now, okay, then I leave under threat of arrest. I don't want to lose my freedom. I don't think anybody really wants to. You don't have to lose your freedom to have that standing. Just the verbal threat of arrest is really all you need.
Yeah. Obviously, like every instance is different, and if it's obviously you're doing your First Amendment audit, but if they say, hey, this was part of like him documenting the incident, which shows him not, it captures him saying, hey, I'm not leaving or something like that, then they would take your phone to evidence. You got to wait until the whole like trial stuff gets done. So normally with like phone stuff, I'd never see them and stuff like that. I just give them, obviously we have to put them in like evidence and stuff.
Yeah, I got arrested in Polk County and they took my phone for a few weeks as evidence. They never actually did anything with it. They just did it to retaliate, really.
It's just a procedural thing.
For a while.
Yeah, I mean, so best of luck, man. I mean, so sometimes I watch your YouTube channel.
Well, hopefully you guys see it as good training content.
We're always watching it, man, and at least I am, and I'm watching different people's different things and what they do.
There's quite a few of them in Florida.
Yeah,
there's Rogue Nation. There's
you can always, I think,
Madison.
Even as an individual, law enforcement, you can always learn from every situation and stuff. And like you've established certain stuff and said, and I always look at those situations and kind of look through the body cameras of how I reacted, what I can do better, what I can say, and whatnot. And obviously, you can learn from it, man. I mean, I think if you say, hey, I've stopped learning, probably ignorant in that mentality, in my opinion.
I agree.
And then
you want to investigate, even though you know who I am and what I'm doing here. It's good to still investigate because I could slip. I'm human.
Correct.
So you have to look at both sides. So I get that. We just got to keep what I'm doing. Our government needs to be put in check. You can't rely on the government to keep the government in check.
No, I mean that's
up to us.
We have amendments.
So that's why we have the supreme law of the land. Yep. And so if there's a law, which there have been laws that have come up over the years, so people with a certain skin color couldn't go into certain buildings and they were trespassed and whatnot. So things pop up and they're unconstitutional, and it's up to us to challenge those and get them reversed.
No, I understand. I agree. I mean, if not, you start turning into some of these war-torn countries, kind of like I've been and deployed that with the military and stuff, and you see how different their countries are and how basically they got no freedoms, man. So
people from Cuba, you've heard about the
I've been in Cuba
and everything.
I've been in Cuba,
yeah. I've
been in Germany, been in
people.
Afghanistan, and so
yeah. And so it sounds like you're. So what part of the branch of the military were you?
Army.
Oh, appreciate your service. So, people from Cuba that I know said that what's happening in this country now is exactly what was going on in their country before it became like a full-blown communist country.
Yeah. So it's once you get too far to the law and order spectrum, right, you kind of got to dwindle it down, right? Because you can't have zero. It's in between, right?
Right.
And that's the way I see it, and most of the time. We try to make our decisions based on that, and so that's kind of where we're at, brother.
Well, I'm about done here, so if you don't mind, could you just tell them that whatever you want to say? I'm not gonna tell you what to say, but when you leave, about 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, I'll probably head on out. I just don't want to. The reason I don't want to leave before you is because then it takes away the educational value. They think that you chased me out of here.
Okay.
So
and so the only thing I think is. We always, every time we go to properties, we tell them if they want to trespass, if they want to prosecute, and we go through the whole. That's basically like we're checking the boxes, and then that's why when talking to you, we tell you what their allegations are, and then we determine what's going on. And that's basically what we're doing.
Okay.
Right. You need anything else from me?
No.
Business card or anything like that?
No, I'm good.
Case number?
Nope, I got everything.
All right, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir. But unless anything else happens, or he's doing anything illegal, causing a disturbance, right now he's allowed to go and do what he's doing. Okay.
I have. But let's step by here. The reason why I get concerned is we do have people that come in here that are a little off the rock.
No, I understand that.
So, and that means we probably gonna wind up pulling somebody off of him.
Yep, but that would make him the victim.
So,
And then, I understand what he's doing. Obviously, we go through the whole spiel of, hey, do you want to trespass, do you want to prosecute, until we get to determine what's going on and where he's at and everything, and go from there. Currently, what he's doing, he can do that.
right.
I've only ran into one instance where somebody alleged that he was causing a disturbance, and based on those allegations, we told him he was trespass. And he can be trespassed from a public property, but right now, he's not being a nuisance.
I got you.
He's coming here. I mean, he can record, man. There's nothing wrong with him recording.
Right. That I totally understand.
Yeah.
That.
But if somebody comes and victimizes him, that's a different incident and an issue that we will have to come and deal with if he wishes to contact law enforcement or if you or for anybody else, and then we'll have to deal with that issue then. But we can't speculate on something that hasn't happened.
Right.
So I mean, if you have to pull someone off of them because you're saying mentally unstable, I mean, then that's what we have to do.
Yeah, because I've already had a couple of patients make a comment, so that was, and like I said, they have that right.
Yeah, but where's their right infringe on his rights?
But the same thing, where does his rights infringe on theirs?
Well, they're not. What is he doing to infringe on somebody else's First Amendment?
Okay, because they are here as patients, and they might not. They have the
this is why I asked you these questions.
Right.
Do you want to trespass? Are you willing to prosecute? What's the setup in this room? Is it secure? Do you need access granted by someone? Is it upon petition? You said no. It's open to the public. Anybody coming in there.
Is by appointment.
Appointment is. I get that, but are there a need for privacy? Is there an expectation of privacy? Is it an intimate setting? And based on everything you said and what I saw, that's not the case. It's a lobby. Okay, I get it says TV in there, but you can open the door, you go in there, and it's a lobby. He's in a lobby with the TV at a receptionist's desk.
Okay.
There's an expectation that anybody is able to come into that area for any type of services, whether you don't have an appointment or not. Right? There's not an expectation of privacy in there, in that immediate area. Now, if he goes into like a doctor's office, that is a separate issue. But being in a lobby of where the receptionist is, that's not really an issue. If a patient is having a conversation, if a patient is having a conversation that is privy to that person and the doctor, then they need to maybe move that conversation, right? If I don't want anybody else to hear this conversation, I'll move, kind of like we just did.
Okay.
But he can be there until there's something else that rises for us to remove him in the areas that he's at.
Okay.
We can remove him, but there has to be just cause, like justification. Okay. This is what he does, man. He does it on a regular basis, multiple areas. He comes in, does his little records request, he leaves. It's literally it.
Okay. I've already got my marching orders by my boss. Okay. Yeah. All I told him was have a nice day. That's it. And told him, please don't access any other officers. All the rest of the officers are locked.
Yeah.
That one is.
Well, that's what I mean. You could probably next time keep those door locks.
You don't have to worry. I'm gonna give.
That's the only thing I can suggest is if you want some sort of expectation of privacy where it's authorized personnel only, then you have to have some sort of barriers in there, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the police department has. The police department is a government facility, and there are areas that are authorized personnel only, and there are areas like the front lobby. Anybody can access there. It's just you open the door, right? And it's an expectation that they're allowed to go in there. In our areas where like we do detective work and that kind of stuff, people can't go in there, right? Because there's just cause for what we're doing there. So, but he'll eventually. I mean, we can continue to talk to him, but I mean, I already know who he is in that kind of sense.
I'm just, I'm kind of a no nonsense kind of guy, and to me that's nonsense to me. But
and I get it, man. It may be nonsense, but he's here to do his what he does. He records videos for First Amendment,
you know,
and he posted on his troll website on YouTube for views.
But
that's what he does.
Like I said, but I did 26 years in the military.
I understand.
Training.
We're military too, man, and
that's just from training. I'm no nonsense, retired senior NCO. That's just the way that I am. But my marching orders is from the director who sits right there. I already got my marching orders. I already know.
So what did he say?
So he just said, be as nice and kind as you can. I told him I had already notified you guys. So
yeah, I mean that's all you can do ultimately, man. I mean, you see any different? Not causing not being disorderly. I mean,
just recording. I mean, it's in a place where there's no expectation of privacy.
Where he was at, he was in the lobby next to a receptionist desk, and there's no allegations of anything committed. I mean, aside from that, I mean, we can trespass him if there's any like problems, but there's no problems.
So we will. My guys already notified them. You can go walk around anywhere, and I told him that. I said, public areas, that's fine. That one I was not clear about.
But like I said, look at the area, read the room.
Right.
Is there an expectation of privacy? There's locked doors. Is there signage? That's all we have to look at to interpret what it is he's doing, and is he allowed to do it in the area? That's just whatever you can see and you can open with. Unfortunately,
access.
Like you can't access our parking lot, right? It's by authorized per badging kind of thing,
right?
Because we have certain assets there. There's certain areas. But it's basically that. If you guys don't want something accessed by the public, then you need to generate some sort of privacy.
Yeah, that they said they were going to post signs, everything, but the signs aren't up yet. So,
well, even signage, I would
we get them up.
You secure the door, buzzer kind of thing. Hey, who are you? What are you here for? Do you have an appointment? No. Okay, no entry. Don't even open the door if you don't want to. It's kind of like if somebody knocks at the door at me at night, right? I'm not going to open the door.
Right. Gotcha.
So, all right.